Okay, welcome to Blender. I've got Blender 4.2 here and just going to demonstrate how to make a simple geometric shape. We're going to make a rock that could be an asset for a video game. So when you open Blender, we're just going to choose the general option and then you will have the default cube. We are just going to work with the default cube. We're not going to try and use anything else. I want to go up here to object mode and edit mode because we're going to edit this cube and you can see it's selected. Um, I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to use subdivide. That opens the subdivision menu down here and you can see I've got extra lines on my cube. The more lines, the more bits we can push and pull on the cube to make our rock shape. So I'm going to keep it quite simple just because I'm using my laptop. And then you need to select whether we're choosing faces, edges, or the node points, which are these nodes here. So I'm going to say, okay, I just want to select these nodes. So you can see it highlights that. And then I'm going to go to move because I want to move that. Now you can move it just in straight lines, but I'm going to go for this cube in the middle just to give it a wee pull. And because we're making a stone, there's no set format. You can pull in different directions. You can go different ways, any direction you want. And then the thing to remember, you can use your scroll wheel and push down to rotate the camera. Or if you don't have a scroll wheel, you can use the view cube at the top like I did. You can select just one node at a time. I'm just trying to grab a few just to see where's the shape. This side's looking pretty flat. So let me just pull out a bit of that. And just to try and get a wee bit irregular, move some individual nodes around, and you can see it's just making the shape. And I'm not really got a shape in mind, I'm just pulling and pushing. So let's go for that. That's me happy. I've subdivided it. We are all good. Once you've subdivided it, the next stage that we want to do after that is we want to start smoothing it out. So on the right hand side here, we've got lots of different tools that we can use, and they've all got wee names. As I put the mouse over it, we're going to concentrate on modifiers, this wee spanner, and then I'm going to click on this, and you get a sub menu, and I'm going to go generate and bevel. And straight away you can see that's just rounded all the edges a wee bit. And we can maybe put that up to 2 instead of 1. We can maybe up the size. I'm just clicking and dragging. And if you zoom in, you'll see the edges are just getting a wee bit softer as opposed to them all being really, really round. So that would be one option that we could do. We could also do add and then generate and then subdivision on surface. And then once that comes through, you can see it's now rounded it much more. Again, we could increase the viewpoint a bit, and that will make it smoother, 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 smoother. That would give us our shape. Once we have done that and we're happy with the object, if you did want to go back, you could go back, choose nodes, move stuff about. But if you're like, yep, I'm happy with that, we want to think about shading next. So there's a few different ways we can do materials on here. I'm clicking and my computer's going slow. So just be conscious, depending on the school computer you are using for this, it may go slow. And because I'm screen recording and try to do this on a school laptop, you can see I'm getting a not responding error. So I'm just going to wait and hope that Blender doesn't crash. Okay, after waiting just a moment there, Blender's came back to life. So we do have the materials tab here, and depending on the settings on Blender, depends what options we have down this side on the right for different materials that we can pull in. I'm just going to take away the default material, and it'll be like, I'm not happy with that. So I'll press subtract now, and it's still more because this one hasn't got anything on it. So I'm going to say it's a new material and I've got my settings here. Now, default, we don't have any materials that we can use. The other thing that you can do very easily at home, but is a wee bit more challenging in school, is you may have the option to import different materials from online that you can access. However, in school, we cannot always access these features, especially using an older version of Blender. So, given the challenges, we want to paint it ourselves. So, first off, so that it looks good, I'm going to back on layout mode, right click, shade smooth. And that you can just nice, smooth the whole thing out. Next, we're going to go to the shading tab. Now, as long as on the layout we have a new material here, we are fine. If you've not got a new material there, you just click on the materials tab, press new, the one that's there before you delete, and then just go new, and that adds everything we need in the shading tab here. Now we have to do nodes. There's like some proper coding stuff now. So there's loads of different options we can do. We're going to go to add, and then what I'm looking for is texture, image texture. I'm just going to click on there. I'm going to go from color to base color to connect that. And you can see, boom, it's turned it black, which is great, but it could be a stone. If you want to change it, you can press new. We can call it rock texture to get that idea of the rock texture. If you want to look good, I generally go instead of 10, 24, 20, 48 by 20, 48. We give you quite a detailed image, and then if you just press new image, that does that. Now, if we go to texture painting, and we've got a brush tool, it's a wee bit confusing. I'll explain this window in a second. We've got a color palette over here, so you can choose your color. If you want like a brownie stone, you can obviously change light and dark. We can change the size of your brush here by the pixels. I'm just going to leave it as is. We're just going to start coloring, and it's as if you've literally got a paintbrush on your stone and you're starting to color it. Now, there are different ways. We can obviously get rid of the shine a bit and stuff like that, but for today, we're not going to stress ourselves out about that. We're just going to focus on trying to get a cool looking stone. So I'm just going to use this as a base color. Then I think I'm going to try and get a bit more of a grey color. That's got to be a hint of yellow. That's maybe a nice grey. Maybe like a wee bit darker though. Just to get some feel. Now, the window on the left, as I'm using the paintbrush, is actually if you cut the shape out and had it as a flat shape, what would it look like? So I can actually paint on here, and it is painting on the shape over here. So you might see small areas changing as I'm painting down here just now that I can start to paint. So you can do it that way, which I can zoom out and I can show you the shape. And you can see it looks a bit like a cuboid because that's what I started with. Or alternatively, you can draw the shape. Quite often people find that a wee bit easier drawing on shape, but you can see, oh, that now just looks like someone's taken a Sharpie to it. So now you can see I've got a shape. It's all right. And then if we go back to layout, it just looks like the clay model. If we go material, it then puts the material on it. Now, we want to get a nice wee render of this. So your camera button here shows that camera view. If you're like, oh man, like I'm not happy or the camera view is not quite right because of how you've made your shape, you can use the camera settings here, and I just clicked on camera there to move the camera. So say for example, I wanted this to be zoomed out a wee bit. I'm going to deliberately move the camera away this direction, then going to recenter it here so you can see it centered top middle, and then I'm going to increase the Z to go up like that so it'll look smaller in my camera view. Then once I've done that, I'm going to say, cool, I'm happy. I'm selecting my stone again. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go insert keyframe, and you can see you can press the I key for that. And that would be a fast way to be able to really quickly insert a keyframe, is what it's called, so that you know this is where the rock is then. I'm then going to go all the way to the end of my timeline here, which the last one is set to 250 frames, which you can see start and end here. Once I've moved there, I'm wanting to get another image of this and I want to rotate it. So I'm going to use some quick keys on my keyboard here. I'm going to press R, which you can see is then rotating in any direction. And then rather than clicking anything, I'm going to press Z. So now I'm just rotating in one direction, the Z axis. And then I'm going to type in 360 and then press return. Now, if we push back to start and I press play, we can't see because I, Silly Sausage, never added the keyframe. So if we go insert keyframe at the end, and you can see the orange line here. So now if we press play, it's saying no, because you Silly Sausage should have done it, but you rotated it. So I'm going to press undo. I'm going to press rotate again. I'm going to press Z for the axis. I'm going to say spin around 360, please. Press enter. I'm going to press I key to add in a keyframe there. Then if we press play, you can see I have now my stone rotating around 360 by the time it gets to the end. Now, for rendering this and getting that out, so we can show off your work, we go to the wee printer image here, and you can see it saves in the temp folder. So you want to save that in a folder that makes sense for you, such as your drive. And then file format here, there's lots of different file formats that we can choose for how we are saving it. So one method that works quite often is this FMMPEG video. So I'm going to choose that one as my output. And then other than that, you can see there's loads of other options, but I'm not going to get hung up on them. I'm just going to say, right, okay. Then I'm going to press the render animation button. It will then start to render. Again, depending on your computer, depends how quickly it's going to do this. I'm going to pause the video and restart the video once it has rendered. Okay, so that is us now got a render complete on my school laptop. You can see it's taken 3 minutes, it's saying. And then I did choose back Blender to save this in my videos file. So we have it saved. So if I just jump to my videos file just now and go there. So you can see it. If we open up this, you can see we've got an animation that shows very clearly it's a 3D model, it's not a 2D asset. Shows off my painting, which I don't really like the greys, but as a quick way to be able to paint your own colours, it works. Now, for saving this, you would file, if it's the first time you're saving it, you go file, save, and then choose. If you go save as, it will save it as a Blender file. Then the other thing we might want to do is export it. So say for example you wanted to 3D print this, we go file, export, STL file, we save it in the exact same place, press export. That's me now got a 3D file that I can use to 3D print a video of it. To get a standard rendered image, we go render image and it will render a single frame for us and we can save that wherever we want. And then the last thing you might want to do for being able to import to another bit of software is a very, very standard file type that we can have is getting it as an OBJ. An object file would be a standard. So you can see it says wavefront.obj and we can save it. And then we'd be able to pull it into most other pieces of software. Hope that's helpful. Now you know how to take a shape, morph it, shape it into a random shape, apply your own material to it if you don't have access to any existing material assets, and then how to render that or how to export that. So then you could import it to another piece of software.